Think you know the push-up? Come with me and I'll show you what you might be missing. What's going on, guys? It's Vaughn here from Body Elements, and today we're going to go through how to properly perform the push-up and some variations that we can use for training. Most people think of the push-up as just a chest and triceps exercise, but in reality it's more a whole body exercise than people think. You can use the push-up to train the core, the shoulders and even the back just by using different push-up variations that focus on different muscle groups. Let's first go through how to perform the standard push-up with perfect form. First thing we want to consider when we're doing push-ups is engaging the core and the glutes. If we engage the core, it'll keep the spine in a nice neutral position, while engaging the glutes will keep the pelvis in a posteriorly tilted position. Another way to influence glute and core control is by bringing the feet closer together. If we forget to engage the core and the glutes, your spine can end up in this overextended position and your pelvis will end up in an anteriorly tilted position. If your body ends up in this position while you're doing push-ups, you're putting yourself at a higher risk of injury while not getting anywhere near the muscle activation as you would doing the push-up properly. The next thing we want to consider is the hand and arm position while doing the push-up. The width of your hands doesn't matter too much here, it's more the position of your elbows. If your elbows are flaring out to the side when you do push-ups, again, you're going to increase your risk of injury by putting more pressure on your elbows and your shoulder joints. We don't want the angle between the body and the elbows bigger than about 45 degrees. A good way to maintain this healthy elbow position is by creating torque at the hands, the elbows and the shoulders by screwing the hands into the ground and aiming the elbow pits forward. This is going to reduce any slack from the shoulder down to the hand. The other thing to look out for in terms of hand and arm position is keeping the forearm vertical when doing the push-up. So this means the wrists are in line with the elbows. This is going to maximize force production in the standard push-up position. There are some push-up variations that don't require a vertical forearm, and we'll go into those later in the video. Another basic rule when doing the push-up is using the full range of the push-up. It's typical to see people not using the full range of the push-up. The full range of the push-up is going to maximize muscle activation, and it's also going to provide you with more movement opportunities in the future. Ensure you're starting in your highest position possible and going to your lowest position possible with each rep to maximize this exercise. The last thing to think about, and a commonly missed step in the push-up, is engaging the scapula. If you're doing full range push-ups already, you're most likely already engaging the scapula during the exercise. Make sure you're protracting your scapula as you go into your uppermost position, and as you come down, you are bringing your shoulder blades together. As with most exercises, the push-up presents many variations for mixing up our training. We can apply all the same principles we just learned to all these different push-up variations. By altering the width of the hand position in the push-up, we can change the focus between the tricep and the chest. The closer the hands are together, the more tricep focused the exercise is going to be, as you'll see in push-ups such as the diamond push-up. And the further the hands are apart, the more chest focused this exercise is going to be. By altering hip height, we can again change the muscle focus in the push-up. The higher you take the hips during a push-up, the more shoulder focused the exercise is going to be. And as we get better doing push-ups with the hips high, we can then take the legs high, and this is when you transition over into what is called the handstand push-up. These are great shoulder exercises just up against the wall, and once you get a bit better, you can do them freestanding. Another useful push-up variation is changing your center of mass. So if you lean further forward when you do a push-up, as mentioned earlier, the forearms won't be vertical, but this will be a more planche focused exercise. And if you lean further back, the exercise is going to be more plank focused. Again, we're just altering the muscle groups we're using here. This variation can be useful if you're training for the planche or if you're training to do something like an inchworm. Push-ups also don't have to be performed on flat ground. They can be performed with equipment variations such as using parallel bars, parallettes, or rings. This variation takes the pressure off of your wrists, and it can also be useful if you want to add weight to the push-up, almost like a calisthenics version of the bench press. And the last variation we're going to go through is an uneven hand position. If you use uneven hand positions, you're going to load one side more than the other. This is useful if you're training for something like a one-arm push-up, and as you get a bit better at these uneven push-ups, you might be able to move over to the one-arm push-up. This variation can also be useful if you want to move while you're doing push-ups, and you can use the crawling push-up. Just make sure when you're doing these uneven hand position push-ups that your center of mass is leaning towards the arm that you're targeting. Now if you can't quite do a push-up just yet, a good variation is using the incline push-up. Something like rings allows you to vary the inclination of the push-up and vary the difficulty and intensity of the push-up. As you get better over time, you can lower the incline and eventually work towards a flat push-up. Another variation or progression is using the knee-assisted push-up. This reduces the lever length significantly and makes the push-up more accessible to more people. I hope this video taught you a few things you might not have known about the push-up and gave you some variations that you might not even heard of before, and now you can mix into your training. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe or leave a comment if you enjoyed the video. It helps heaps, and I'll see you guys next time.